And we thank you for watching Top Story tonight. I'm Tom Yamas in New York. Stay right there. More news on the way.
This is an NBC News special report. Here's Hoda Kotb.
Well, good morning. We are coming on the air early because, well, across the pond, the first event to celebrate the royal milestone, the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, getting underway. By the way, you guys, this is the first of 4 days. It is a 4-day party filled with pomp, circumstance, pageantry, all to honor her remarkable 7 decades on the throne. It kicked off a short time ago with a grand tradition, the trooping of the color parade. We've got Keir Simmons there. Keir, the biggest headline, the first headline as we're watching these pictures go by live is that it is not raining. So let's give a round of applause for the beautiful weather that came.
And good morning. We just watched 3 generations of royals ride past us here on horses and in carriages. And Hoda, I just want to point for you a picture of what it was like, because there was a pretty special moment as the carriage carrying Kate and Camilla and Kate and William's 3 children came past here. At first we saw Kate and Camilla, Kate looking glamorous as ever. And then as the carriage came by, we saw the 3 children kind of tucked away, looking as any of our children would, kind of proud, excited, on their best behavior. It looked like Charlotte was smiling and waving. And then as the parade came by, we saw Charles and Anne and William wearing the colours of the Irish Guards, riding bolt upright, leading the procession, because, of course, the Queen is not here. She is still at Buckingham Palace, not able, not too frail to attend the Trooping the Colour as she has done since her coronation. What will happen now, Hoda, we understand, is that the parade will go back down to Buckingham Palace after Trooping the Colour to salute her on the Buckingham Palace balcony. So that will be quite a moment. The parade going to the Queen herself in order to celebrate her, if you like. Some anxious moments, Hoda. We saw some nervous and jumpy horses. Not a single one of these horses has ever done this before, but the crowd, and this was kind of special, the crowd quietening down when they saw those nervous horses. It really is a kind of respectful, relaxed atmosphere here, and of course an atmosphere of celebration for Her Majesty.
Yeah, and I mean, Keir, we were talking about this. People have been camping out there for days and days just for a moment, for a fleeting moment of watching this procession go by.
Well, it's been a proud moment, I guess you could say. Look, you know, we've just seen intermittent numbers of the Irish Guards come by. Right now, they are down at the parade ground, and then they will come back through. Again, there's a kind of a party atmosphere, people celebrating, and of course, everybody waiting for a glimpse of the Queen.
Yeah, indeed, Keir. Let's move on. Kelly Kobiea, she's just outside the gates of Buckingham Palace. We got a whole bunch of correspondents who are fanned out. Kelly, how's it going where you are?
How's it going, Kelly? Stand by. Thank you.
Well, you can definitely feel the atmosphere here at Buckingham Palace. We're actually standing just in eye shot of the balcony. You can see it here over my shoulder. That is where we're waiting for that big balcony moment later in the morning. But what we won't see, of course, is Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, on that balcony, because as they are no longer working royals, they won't be appearing alongside the Queen, but we may see them at Horse Guards Parade parade. They'll, we understand, be there with their children, watching with other members of the royal family. And I think just a few moments ago, we saw Princess Charlotte at one of those windows looking down on the parade. We may well see Prince Harry, Meghan, and their children, Lilibet and Archie, at that very same window. Much as this is a massive event for the entire country and the Commonwealth and the rest of the world, all the pageantry and ceremony, it is also a family reunion. And Harry, Meghan, and their two children are spending time with members of the family that Lilibet has never met, that Archie hasn't seen in a couple of years since the family moved to California. And quite frankly, this is also the first time that Meghan will be among other members of the royal family participating in a really big event, guys.
Yeah, indeed, just an olive branch extended to invite them to come. Kelly, thank you. Let's go to Stephanie Gosk. She's right there in London. Steph, how's it going where you are?
Oh, it's great, Hoda. Beautiful weather. It's fantastic to be here. You know, consider this. 85% of the British population only knows Queen Elizabeth as their monarch, and they could be excused for starting to take these jubilees for granted. You have the Platinum Jubilee today. 10 years ago, it was the diamond. 10 years before that, it was the gold. But in British history, only 4 other monarchs have had jubilees. And the people coming here today are considering the very real possibility that this could be the last jubilee for decades to come. The first one is celebrated 25 years into a monarch's reign, and people here may not live that long to see the next one. So regardless of what people may think of the monarchy, and we know that it's mixed here in this country, this is undeniably a moment in history, and the people that have crowded here certainly know that, Hoda.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's a party atmosphere with a real significant meaning. Let's get to a wonderful royal observer who's here going to put these festivities in perspective here in New York, NBC News contributor and anchor of Sky News, Wilfred Frost. Wilfred, okay, so can you just explain the scope of this event? Because as we watch, we are coming on early this morning for us. A lot of people are going, well, what's going on over there? Tell us about that part.
Well, so the first bit, of course, this is trooping of the colour, which has an important military significance. It's probably the most formal part of the 4-day celebration that we're watching now, and it's a great way to set the tone. But I think it's important just to mention that, as you've been saying, it's 4 days of celebrations. And if there's one way to win the British people over, it's to create a 4-day weekend and extend the pub hours. But it's much more than just a silly celebration. Yeah. I think if I think back to the last one, that's what it was. It was an excuse for a national get-together, a national party. I think this one is slightly different. I think it's a chance for the British people to show their appreciation to the Queen, their thanks to the Queen whilst we still can. We
pointed out that the Queen is not here at this initial event that we're watching right now live on our screens, but she will be present later. Tell us when we might see her.
So the first time we'll see her is at the salute, albeit she won't be there on horseback herself. That'll be led by Prince Charles. She'll salute from afar from the Buckingham Palace balcony. That'll be fairly soon. And then an hour or so later, when we get the fly past, all of the 17 working royals led by her will be together on the balcony. And those are the moments I look forward to most, because we haven't got to see that much of her in recent years, first and foremost. But secondly, it's not so much seeing the people's reaction when we do get to see her, but again, as I was saying, it's the other way around this time. I hope we get to see her sense of appreciation of the thanks that hopefully is clear on the people's faces.
She clearly seems to be making room for Charles, giving him his moment. How significant is this for him in this moment?
Very significant. I'd say perhaps doing the Queen's speech a month or so ago was a step further. That's probably the most important of the ceremonial things, the most important of the processes, because it has a clear part in our legislative process. But if these events help him 1%, 2% to get ready for the role, nothing will make as much of a difference as the day he actually becomes king. And I think these are small steps relative to the fact that she is ultimately still our sovereign, and his authority stems from her still.
In this last few seconds, a lot of people are also looking to see Harry and Meghan. They will not be on that balcony. How significant is that?
It is, but there's a clear line of working royals only for that first time. So I think actually she, once again, Her Majesty, has threaded the needle perfectly to include them without annoying some British people. And we will see them later. And most importantly, I think a great-grandmother will meet her great-grandmother.
Lilibet. That'll be nice. Wilfred, will you stick around this morning?
Certainly will.
All right, you guys, we're going to keep you posted on this 4-day festivity. A lot more live from London and throughout the morning. The Queen's arrival for the military salute, the fly past over Buckingham Palace, and of course, that moment on the balcony. We're going to have it all covered for you all morning. I'm Hoda Kotb in New York. This has been an NBC News special report.
Their state gas taxes, hoping to give drivers some relief.
All right, cleanup is underway in Mexico after Hurricane Agatha made an historic landfall earlier this week. Mexico's president said at least 11 people died and 33 are missing as a result.
Broadcasters.
Good morning. Going platinum. 4 days of parades and pageantry underway in London this morning to celebrate the historic 70-year reign of Queen Elizabeth. The royal family stepping out to honor the monarch and their matriarch, including Harry and Meghan's first trip to England as a family of 4. Hundreds of thousands gathering outside of Buckingham Palace. Tens of millions watching around the world, an event filled with royal tradition and ceremony. Complete live coverage straight ahead. Breaking overnight, a gunman opens fire inside an Oklahoma hospital, killing 4 people before taking his own life as the nation is rocked by yet another mass shooting. Just ahead, what we're learning about the victims, the suspect, and the officers being hailed as heroes for preventing an even larger tragedy.
I cannot overstate how proud I am of the area response to this incident.
Stunning verdict, reaction pouring in after Johnny Depp wins his defamation case against ex-Amber Heard, awarded $15 million in damages by a Virginia jury. His legal team declaring victory and redemption.
The claims against Johnny Depp are defamatory and unsupported by any evidence.
Heard saying she is heartbroken, calling the decision a setback for all women. This morning, the growing fallout and the uncertain futures for both stars as Amber Heard's attorney speaks out for the very first time after a 6-week trial filled with twists, turns, and drama. Our exclusive live interview with her just ahead. Those stories plus stepping down inside Sheryl Sandberg's decision to leave her longtime post after nearly 2 decades at Facebook. And reason to celebrate.
And this is dropped in behind for Yarmolenko, who puts Ukraine ahead.
Ukraine's national soccer team now on the verge of the World Cup. The historic victory lifting the spirits of an entire nation as millions all across the globe cheer them on. Today, Thursday, June 2nd, 2022.
From NBC News, this is Today with Savannah Guthrie and Hoda Kotb, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
Welcome to Today. So happy you're joining us on a Thursday morning. You know what we need on a Thursday morning? We need a party. We need like a 4-day party.
We need a front row seat to that party. You're going to get it this morning for the Queen's Jubilee.
Yeah, we're very excited about this. The pomp and circumstance for the kickoff of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. We're going to bring you extensive live coverage. We're going to have it all morning long.
Including those iconic royal balcony shots live right here. Also ahead this morning, another major story. It's got people talking all around the globe. The jury's decision at the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. In a moment, we will sit down with Heard's attorney, Elaine Charlson-Bredehoft. She was by Heard's side as that verdict was read. And this morning, she's with us live. Her first interview after that closely watched trial.
Well, let's get started in London. Those celebrations for the Queen's historic milestone, 70 years on the throne. Today's senior international correspondent, Keir Simmons, is right there in the middle of it. It's a sunsplash day, too. Keir, good morning.
It sure is, Hoda. Hey, good morning, Savannah. 3 generations of royals on display on this historic day of pomp and parades and cheering crowds. But, you know, it is 3 young royals who have stolen the show. Kate and William's children riding by here on a carriage. Charlotte waving and smiling. They looked excited, looked as if they were on their best behavior. You know, guys, it is a day of pageantry and a little poignancy. The Queen is back there at Buckingham Buckingham Palace, but they have a great solution, which we're going to tell you about in a moment on this day of celebration. Crowds celebrating the Queen, while yet to see her so far this morning. Prince Charles taking the lead. A new royal era. The Prince of Wales, accompanied by Prince William and Princess Anne, all on horseback. In 70 years, the Queen has rarely missed this ceremony, riding herself until the 1980s, then in a carriage. But now, because of mobility issues, at age 96, she's taking a step back. Today, the parade will come to her on the Buckingham Palace balcony. We'll see her in just a few minutes. Overnight, a new portrait released and a special Jubilee message from Her Majesty. I continue to be inspired by the goodwill shown to me, and I hope that the coming days will provide an opportunity to reflect on all that has been achieved during the last 70 years, as we look to the future with confidence and enthusiasm. The royals out in full force today, including Duchess Kate and her 3 children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis. They will join the Queen for another iconic balcony moment. Harry and Meghan watching the parade from the Major General's office, here with son Archie and their daughter Lilibet, expected to meet her great-grandmother for the very first time. A chance to take in the best of British pomp and ceremony. 1,500 soldiers, 400 musicians, 350 horses, some not so well behaved. Every shoe shined, every belt buckle burnished, the horses groomed till they gleam. And the crowds lining the Mall today, hoping for just a glimpse of the Queen. As ever, determined to do her duty, to be seen by her public, as she has been for 7 decades. And this morning, she can surely hear the cheers of a nation from inside her palace. And Hoda, just to explain a little more about what's happening right now, we're just watching the world-famous Trooping the Colour wrap up. That means we expect to see the royals back on the Mall here behind us at any moment now, heading back to Buckingham Palace. And then when they get to Buckingham Palace, they will salute the Queen on the balcony. An historic moment for a Queen who today is making history. And Hoda, what a moment. What a way to pay respects to a Queen who has given so much.
Oh, yeah, indeed. We're anticipating that at around 7:20. Keir, we look forward to that, more of your coverage. So stick around throughout the morning. We've got live coverage of the Platinum Jubilee celebrations.
We turn now for the moment to that breaking news overnight here at home. The nation still reeling.
Might slow you down a little bit. Better looking afternoon, sun and clouds, only upper 60s, low 70s.
And that's your latest weather. Guys?
All right, Al, thank you so much. We'll be right back with more of our live coverage of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, including moments away, her first appearance of the morning from the balcony.
From NBC News, this is a special report. Here's Savannah Guthrie and Hoda Kotb.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Live picture from London as the kickoff events to the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebration are well underway.
Yeah, this is a 4-day party, by the way, and it's a big one. We're about to see Her Majesty for the very first time. She's taking a special Trooping of the Colour salute from the balcony of Buckingham Palace. NBC's Keir Simmons has his eye on it all. Hey, Keir, set the scene for us.
Hey, Hoda, I sure do. We've just been watching Charles, Anne and William ride bolt upright in a sea of red and gold on the world-famous Mall behind me there. I don't know if you can see the procession still heading down to Buckingham Palace. What a historic moment for a Queen who is making history. They are doing, Hoda, is they just held the world-famous Trooping the Colour parade in the parade ground behind us. They are now going to Buckingham Palace, and I think this is a first. They are going to go and salute the Queen on the Buckingham Palace balcony. What a way to pay respects. What a way to salute a Queen who has given so much in these past 70 years. 3 generations, Hoda, of royals on display here for this day of history and pomp and pageantry and cheering crowds. But, you know, it really is 3 young royals who have stolen the show, because William and Kate's children rode past here now twice in a carriage. both times looking excited, smiling and waving, and I do think, Hoda, that we're about to see, we may be getting ready to see the Queen herself on the balcony for that salute. And I think you can see these live pictures. There she is, Her Majesty.
Let's pause and let the Queen have her moment.
Pale blue.
Waiting for this moment. They said it was going to happen at 7:20. Right on time. The Queen's appearing on the balcony.
I just was thinking, what must be going through her mind? 70 years ago, she was a 26-year-old young lady, suddenly thrust into having to take the throne and be Queen of England, and now she is the longest-serving monarch. And this is a celebration of her. No small accomplishment.
And I think people were waiting just to look and see, how does she seem? I mean, I don't know, but she looks really good from this point of view. She's taking in the crowd. What it must feel like to look at everyone who came all this way.
Wilfred Frost, who is our colleague at CNBC, and of course is British and has great bona fides, not royal, but darn close. What do you think of this moment?
Listen, this is the first time we get to see her, which, as you both are saying, is so wonderful to see her looking happy and pretty well as well. But this is the most formal of her appearances, and I think as the next 4 days go on, there'll be slightly more relaxed moments, including, most importantly, when the people get a bit closer. So there'll be that slightly more jubilant tone, and she'll be able to see how they are and hopefully see how grateful they are to her. This is the formal salute with the military. In just about an hour and a half, we'll see that fly past, and the Mall will be fuller of the public as opposed to these returning horses and cavalry.
So a little later in the day, we are actually going to see the Queen on the balcony, flanked by all of the royals. Is that right?
All of the working royals. This is how she's very cleverly thread the needle to get about 17 of them up there for that first formal moment. So it won't, we don't think, include Prince Andrew. It won't include Harry and Meghan. And then as the weekend goes on, again, at the service of Thanksgiving, the concert, we'll expect to see those other members there, and everyone will feel a part of it. And again, she rather masterfully has thread the needle to have as much people involved without upsetting anybody. And it'll be great to see that moment. The people will be closer to her as well for that fly past, and we'll get more of their celebration.
We just saw the troops, so that's the view that the Queen is observing right now. And the gent beside her, if people are wondering, the Duke of Kent, her first cousin. Thoughts turn to Prince Philip. I'm sure she would have loved to celebrate this moment with him at her side.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, you know, today is a moment of celebration in stark context to the last time we were covering an event like this, which of course was her husband's funeral. But I do think it's not pure jubilation this time round in a way that it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago because of his absence. And I do always think of what she said of him, which was that he was her strength and stay. And I think that's what she is to our nation, to the entire country. And I think people will show their appreciation for that.
You talk about how fractured things are around the world and in different countries, but there's something about looking at this moment. People filling the streets, people gathering, that just shows in this moment unity. I don't know the Queen's popularity in the UK, but I'm imagining it's pretty sky high.
85%, some of the latest polls. I mean, yes, she carries a great personal approval rating, but I also think, because I totally get when people here question, what is all this silliness, this pomp and ceremony? You're passing something down via bloodline. That's crazy. But at the same time, we have a separate head of state from head of government. In a way that America loves to rally around the flag, we rally around the crown. We rally around the Queen. She is our national icon, and that's why she has, one of the reasons why she has such high, persistently high approval ratings.
Sure. Well, our cameras are trained on the view that the Queen is seeing right now. NBC's Kelly Kobiella has a different vantage point. She's one of the hundreds of thousands of the Queen's best friends outside the palace. Kelly, what is the mood there?